आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुः श्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मा ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Last discussion, we understood that how we cannot miss our real nature at all. Why we cannot miss our real nature?
Because I am that all. How can I miss myself?
Yes. So
I can miss anything other than me.
Yes.
But I cannot miss myself.
Good. So that was made very clear in the last discussion. So Upanishad said reality is Anya Deva Tat Viditadato Aviditadati. So it is different from the known unknown. And the only thing in our experience which will cater to both is our real nature. So when we have undertaken manana on that statement, what we realized is we have realized what is different from the known and unknown is my very swarupam, that is consciousness, which is infinity. Yes? So that is clear, no? Swarupam is not known objectively. And it cannot be denied subjectively. See? Our real nature, you cannot know it objectively. That is bad news. But the good news is what?
Cannot deny subjectively.
You cannot deny it subjectively. It is already there. All efforts are to know it objectively. So in a way that also is good news. You cannot know objectively. So only effort is to stop this extroverted effort to get to your real nature. Then what you are reveals itself. Subjectively you recognize. As we are that alone always. After hearing this, such a wonderful, illuminating mantra, one set of students were illuminated and they were content. See, as we are going ahead, one batch of students are going out enlightened. But there are still few left there. That's why the Upanishad is continuing. There are some who are unable to still recognize the reality. They continued requesting their Guru to explain in a way that they could comprehend.
Still unable to recognize. There are
some students still were unable to get to this. They are not able to follow that statement what Guruji said now, Upanishad said now. So they were requesting the Guru to again explain in a way that they could comprehend. They requested to explain by resorting to the medium of speech. In school, children are taught about what? First letters, alphabets, A, B, C, initially. How they are taught? Through the medium of speech. And then later, once they have mastered that, then they will make words out of that. A, apple. Words, they start making words, different words. Then once they have learned those words, then sentences will come. What is your name? So the whole thing is based on speech. So in this way, children gain knowledge. In the same way, the students are asking, please explain to us this reality through the medium of speech, through walk. You explain. That's how we were taught till now. In the same way, you teach us reality. Why are you making such statements and confusing us, this batch of students? Okay. If you feel you cannot do so, because this reality is subtle, then you can explain it using some sacred syllables like Om. Om, that is also walk. Walk genuinely. So use that and say, which anyway represents the ultimate reality. You could have told that. But why are you saying like this? Anya Devita Dati Dasi. You can say that that is the ultimate reality on which sadhaks contemplate and they are doing upasana, Omkar upasana. So you use that and tell us. Yes. Through what we should know reality. Yes. So for this set of students, Guru is saying the next mantra. Mantra 5. Edvacha anabhyuditam ena vakabhyudyate tadeva brahmatvam viddi nedam yedidam upasate. So countless sadhaks may be contemplating or doing upasana through the medium of Omkara. But still, that is not the ultimate reality. Nedam yedidam upasate. That is not the ultimate thing. Why? Tadvacha anubhyuditam. Reality cannot be expressed through speech. It cannot be. Why it cannot be expressed just as everything in the world is expressed? Yena vak abhyudyate. Because reality is that because of which speech is being illumined. Because of that, the speech is illumined. His vak is made lively and is made to be known because of the presence of this reality. How can you know that through this? What is being revealed because of this? Because of this reality. Reality means the light of consciousness that illumines the speech. Speech by itself cannot illumine the reality. That's when it is, for this same very reason, it is said earlier, Vachoha Vasham. It is the speech of the speech. Know that alone to be Brahman. Brahman means what? The ultimate reality of this manifestation. So that is the reality. Not by taking support of the speech, if you are trying to hold, then that is not the ultimate reality. Got it? They may represent the reality, but by themselves they are not the reality. Because reality is that which illumines them. Okay. So now, after hearing this, what has become invalid? Then the student is saying, if not for speech, why don't you express through the mind? So that we can initiate a mental bhavana or contemplation and comprehend the reality. I will do some meditation using my mind and comprehend the reality. So you tell it in such a way, you express it so that I can comprehend through the mind. So to clear this doubt, Upanishad is giving us mantra 6. Yen manasa namanute enahur manomatam tadeva brahmatvam viddi nedam yedidam upasate. Yen manasa namanute enahur manomatam. So there may be countless ways of mental imagination guided meditations. Through mind you have to imagine and they will guide you how to imagine so that you can get to reality. But that mental object of meditation, how much ever grand it may be, it is not reality. Nedam yadidam upasate. Why? Yan manasana manute. Reality cannot be comprehended with the mind. Why it cannot be comprehended? Is it not a universal fact that everybody is comprehending everything they want to comprehend through the mind? Then why you cannot comprehend? Student is asking. Because yenahur manomatam. The mind itself is illumined by the reality. How can that which is illumined by Chaitanyam know Chaitanyam? How can? It's not possible. Is it possible? It is like saying through the moonlight, the moon will know the sun. That what is that moonlight first of all? That is sun's light only. So it is not possible. In the same way here, the mind itself is dependent on this. Mind by itself is jada. How will it illumine the reality? It cannot illumine the reality. That's why it's yenahur manomatam. The reality, the light of consciousness, the Chit Shakti, Chaitanya, the Bhati, that alone is illumining this mind. Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi Nedam Yedidam Upasate. So the object of your meditation is not Paramartha. Whatever you imagine with your mind, it is only Aropita. It is a superimposed exercise that you are doing. Paramartha means the ultimate is Sankalpa Atita. It is not within the realm of your Mano Sankalpa. It is devoid, it is beyond all this. Even that Sankalpa is illumined because of this only. Okay. The mind itself is illumined by what? Nitya Vijnana Swarupa. It is always there. Nitya Vijnana Swarupa. That is Prajnana. Okay. So two are gone. Speech is gone. Mind is gone. Now disciple says, we already have a form of Parabrahma in our puja room. The picture of Vishnu is there, Shiva is there, Devi is there, or some other Ishta Devata is there. If not them, then what about picture of my Guru? Guru Maharaj is there. Because it is said in scriptures, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. You are saying you cannot point out, but you come to my puja room, I will show you the photo of Parabrahma, he is saying. Who? Who is saying? Who is saying to whom?
The ignorant one. Ignorant one.
The ignorant one. The disciple is saying to Guru. Because you should not confuse that whether Guru is saying this to disciple. No. The disciple is saying this to the Guru. The ignorant disciple, what you told, is saying to the Guru, I have photo of Parabrahma. This delusion of being able to perceive Parabrahman with organ of sight is dispelled in the next month. So that is a delusion, to perceive Parabrahman with organ of sight, with your eyes. So that will be dispelled in the next month. As an answer to this Pura Pakshi, the 7th mantra is given. तच्चक्षुषा न पश्यति येन चक्षुंषि पश्यति तदेव ब्रह्म त्वं विद्धि नेदं यदिदमुपासते. You cannot visualize or see the form of reality or Brahma with your eyes. You cannot. Yachakshusha na pashyati. Why? Yena chakshumshi pashyati. Even the eyes are able to appreciate their respective objects of vision. Because of what? They are all able to appreciate so many things. Their objects of perception, they are able to clearly appreciate. If the eyes are proper, you will appreciate. But they are able to do that only because of this light of this consciousness, because of this Chaitanya Sannidhyam. Tadeva Brahmatvam Viddhi Nedam Yadidam Upasate. That illuminating principle is the Brahman what we are talking about. Not what you are imagining and meditating upon the various forms. No. All forms of worships are denied here. So, but you should know, do they not have a role? They have a role. But to whom you are addressing here, who is eager to know the reality, but who got stuck because of some delusion, to him only. So, who has some amount of Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Ekagrata because of all the sadhanas which he has done. But he is interested to know the reality. To him it is being addressed, not to a beginner who needs the support of forms. So all supports of forms are good. But if they are Nishkama Bhakti, that form, that Saguna Brahma itself will bless you to go beyond that form. Yes? That's what we have seen in the life of various Mahatmas. So, the Saguna Brahma, that Ishta Devata or whatever, your Guru Maharaj, their blessings, how do we know whether we have those blessings? We will be connected to their reality, which is our reality and which is the reality of this entire manifestation. And to comprehend that, we have to ruthlessly negate all forms, including the form of the deity to whom you are praying. Understood? That should be taken in the right perspective. Advaita is not that it is dead against all those. It will support all those till you come to a point where you can transcend them and recognize the reality of them. Okay. So that consciousness or awareness, which is one without a second, in whose presence forms are perceived, is the Parabrahma. And that not the picture to whom you are praying. So that is made clear here. Then what will happen after hearing this? Are the students happy? The student is asking, does the Parabrahman, can it be comprehended through a sound? Like we contemplate on Guru's words. That word itself is Guru, they say, on sect. The word is given so much importance. You also, he is my Guru because I have taken mantra. That mantra is only the Guru. Guru is there in me as that mantra. So can't we contemplate on that mantra, on that sound, and reach the Parabrahman? No doubt. So that is negated in the next mantra. 8th mantra. Tat Shrotrena na Shrunoti Yena Shrotravidam Shrutam Tadeva Brahmatvam Viddhi Nedam Yadidam Upasate. So you cannot comprehend that Parabrahman through your ear also. Why? It is because of the light of the consciousness that your ear is able to hear. So that light of the consciousness, which is enabling you to comprehend various sounds through the medium of the ear, that alone is Parabrahma, means the ultimate reality. This also is God. Okay. Then Paramatma, does it have any smell through which it can be comprehended? Some people will tell me that divinity will have, there will be a fragrance. Like 3 days back they were saying. They were saying in a different context. There are some assumptions that divine beings have a fragrance, which they will be able to. All cults will mention that somewhere or other. Some will tell when the Kundalini awakens, you will hear.
Bhakta type or yogic type.
Yogic, that's what.
They are telling.
So recently they told that it seems one Guruji was telling about their disciples. They all said like that, and the Guru himself wondered what's happening. Then they found out that one rare flower has bloomed in the garden. It's okay, but actually they say that some sounds are, some smells we can feel, all that. In some traditions they have that. So does the Paramatma have any smell through which we can comprehend? Because all are negated now, only that is left. So this doubt is cleared in the next mantra.
तदेव परम तम विद्धि निगेट कर दिया कि जो शब्द उसको इल्यूमिन नहीं कर सकता, उसके कान से शब्द इल्यूमिन कर
यस,
तुम्हारे कान से शब्द इल्यूमिन कर, ऐसा नहीं बोल रहे।
क्यों बोलना है? आप क्या समझ रहे हैं आपका बारे में, वो नहीं है बोल रहा, और भी बोल रहे, उसी का कारण आप ये सभी जान रहे बोला। एंड वो वही है परम तत्व बोला, वही है आपका स्वरूप बोला। फिर क्या बोलना है? फिर कुछ बोलना है तो हाथ में लाठी लेके बोलना पड़ेगा। So what is said here, you cannot comprehend that Parabrahma through the sense of smell, as it is because of the presence of consciousness that you are able to appreciate all smells. Know that because of which all this is being appreciated, which is being illumined, know that alone to be Brahman. Parabrahman means your ultimate reality.
Pranayam.
So,
Pran here means
here we are taking it as smell, like the earlier thing. There we took it as that Urja Spandana Shakti there. So now we have seen 5 slokas. So in these last 5 slokas, it has been clearly pointed out how you cannot comprehend reality from the lens of senses and mind, both. Through your senses and your mind, you cannot comprehend. Very detailedly it has been said. So the same thing is told in the mantra second. Second mantra, what did you see? Shrotrasya shrotram manaso manoyat vacho vacham pranasya pranaha.
Already
all this is told, but it is told here again in a very detailed way. It is saying what is that shrotrasya shrotram? What is that manaso mano? The mind of the mind, or the speech of the speech, or the prana of the prana, or the eye of the eye. What is that? What is that? That because of which they all are becoming functional. The process of knowing is happening through them is only because of this Chaitanya Shakti. So that is clearly told in this 5 mantras. What we have seen. Each one is negated. Negated keeping a sadhak in mind. Sadhak, how he uses these sense organs to contemplate on a Parabrahma. So here the Upanishad doesn't want you to remain confined in that imaginary assumption of the ultimate reality. It wants you to transcend that. So it is saying from there, where do you transcend? You transcend from there to the ultimate reality, because of which all these functionings are happening. Clear? So the only way here is what? Atimuchya. Atimuchya means what? Give up identity derived from the inputs of the senses. Atimuchya. Give up identity from the inputs of senses and imagined by the mind. See, based on the inputs of the senses and the imagine of the mind, an identity for us, this individual personality, has been formed. I, you say, where did this I come from? The senses have given some inputs, and the mind has imagined based on that input, and it is telling that you are this individual. That's why we assume that we are this particular individual, and we cherish so much fondness for it. Every day, 2 to 3 times, you will look in the mirror, and you want to improve upon yourself so that the world will look you in a better way. That's why people always make up all that. Why they do? So they want to present themselves in a better way, according to them. What is the better way? Nobody knows. But according to them, what is the better way they imagine? In that way, they want to present themselves to the world. Why? Because they feel that they are this, and they feel that they are confined to this. Here we are not saying that is correct, or that we are not saying. How that individuality will develop and how we cherish that, we are saying. Okay. So that individuality is formed because of the inputs of the mind and imagination, inputs from the senses and imagination of the mind. So we assume that we are this particular individual. And then we have so much fondness for it. This is the essence that we develop since childhood. That's why since childhood they assume themselves to be in a particular way. Then suddenly there will be graying of hair. They don't like many. Why? They want to be like the earlier thing. Why? That is what they are, they assume. So they try to look the same as they are earlier. There, the imagination of the mind and the inputs of the senses, at one point they stopped. They felt that is what they are. But the time is taking further. But they want to stop there only. So they have that fondness and they cherish that personality to be their real nature. That's why they want to preserve it. So in the West, some billionaires are spending billions of rupees so that they remain young, it seems. So that form they are feeling is their real nature. So they want to maintain that in the same way. Okay. So that is the essence that we develop since childhood. We develop that. So we don't attach to a form in the childhood to be me. But once it has sufficiently evolved, then you say that this is only me. That is the false I is veiling the true identity. You are not that, but this which you cherished and which you developed through the senses and through the mischief of the mind, you assume that to be your true identity. But that is only is veiling, means it is covering our true identity. Our true identity, which is illuminating all of this, is being covered. Now, what is the way It is to negate this false identity. That's all. That is only told here by saying Atimuchya. You negate this false identity. We have cherished this false identity. Now what we have to do? Negate that. If you want to know the reality, you negate this false identity. But why it is becoming difficult? Because you cherished it for a long time.
It is that only it creates a bhava. When sense object is not all around, and it creates the want to sustain its own image. It creates a bhava. You want this, you want that. That's why from the blankness of mind, most of the people fear, because it is not going to sustain. They are the imagine the personality to make itself sustain. It is a bhava in them. That's why they are not able to bear the loneliness and these things.
Correct.
But once they recognize the reality about their self, true nature, then they claim that this is false. This is false. The want is not there in Atman itself.
Correct.
After that only they, out of this fear, they become out of the fear and claim themselves that Abhihi got Swami Sthitaprajnananda.
Yes. So the only way is to negate this false identity. How to do that? As we are accustomed to it for a long time, how do we do? It is easy to say. People will tell me, how do you? Because I feel I am this. How do you? Okay. So Upanishad, what it said to us earlier, Pretyasmat Loka. Pretyasmat Loka, how did we discuss there? You renounce all desires rooted in the feeling of I and mine. Okay, you developed this individuality, this identity to be yourself. But now there are so many things that are nourishing that. First you stop that nourishment. That individuality is being nourished. How it is nourished? Because of the desires rooted in the feeling of I and mine. My people, mine, or I. You place I always in the front. And everything you connect to the I. So they did not respect me. They have spoken ill about me. They praised me. They support me. That is my ashram. They are my friends. Or they are my relatives. Or they are mine. What is all this? I and mine. This is my religion. This is my country. All are in a way only strengthening this. These are the feeders which are all going and strengthening what? That individuality. You renounce all these, we are saying. Because it has already formed that individuality. Now whatever we do, it will only get strengthened. See? All because of our imagination. There is only reality. But because we are not introduced to the reality, we started this mischief of creating an individuality and assuming that to be myself. Thereafter, whatever you do, that will get strengthened. You are watering it. Whatever you do, every activity is watering it. So now you want to recognize reality, you leave your house and you come to the ashram. Here what you are doing? Same thing again you are doing in the name of your guru and ashram, you are doing the same thing. my guru, my ashram, my mantra, my sadhana, my asana, my seva. Again, this I and mine. So whatever you do, that is being cherished. That's why we are feeling it difficult. There's no wonder that these students are so much troubled by this teaching. This teaching was told over. But why they are not comprehending? Because the individuality which they have cherished has become like a banyan tree. So they want to pursue that individuality and reach the truth. The Guru here is emphatically denying that you cannot do. You cannot do that, as simple as that is. You have to renounce your identity. And for that, what are the feeders that are supporting that? There you catch. So let us use these two clues given by Upanishad. What are those two clues? Atimuchya and Pretyasmat Loka. These are the two clues that are given. Those now we have to use and wake up. Why? Because all the five things are denied now. Sensory inputs and mind also is denied. With that you cannot get to. Now what is the way? Only this. Renounce identity. And you be careful about those which are strengthening this identity. Okay? Then you will recognize what this reality is. So, what do you assume yourself to be if you ask? This assumption is all based on thoughts. Yes or no? So, every moment we have thoughts. Thoughts means what? Vrittis. Different thoughts come up. Even the desires we have are thoughts only. Nothing other than these thoughts. So, now if you have to get to the reality and understand the reality, where we have to start our journey is with our thoughts. So right now, what are the thoughts that are bothering you? Every moment, there are some thoughts. Every moment. So now, any moment you feel that you want to recognize reality, so at that moment, what you are supposed to do is this two. What? Atimuchya and Pretyasma. If you are a Dhira, you attempt these two. So how do I attempt? Okay, you sit. What are the thoughts that are bothering me now? You should be subtle enough to appreciate those thoughts. And then one or other thought will come at that moment. So this is the thought. Now what we are saying? Who is entertaining this thought?
Mind only.
So these thoughts which are coming one after another, they are all, to whom are these thoughts coming? To me, to an individual. There we are catching hold of that individual. So we are saying that all thoughts will only strengthen the individuality. So the thought can be in the form of desire or whatever, or a old memory or whatever. So to whom is this thought coming? To me, immediately you will tell. To me only, you will tell. Right? So I is one thought again. So these all thoughts are very subtly strengthening this I thought. I means what? Body. Body am I feeling only? I means I am this body. I am this mind. So all thoughts are anchoring onto this I thought. And I thought means what? This body am I feeling. Is that body inert or conscious by itself?
Inert.
Inert. Very simple. You are saying I. You are referring to this body, and body by itself is inert. See, what is it in the presence of which this seems to be sentient, but this seems to be conscious? What is it? We are catching it. What is it in the presence of which this seems to be sentient? We are questioning ourselves. This is a process of inquiry. Then, as we heard all these mantras, then immediately we will tell consciousness, Chaitanya. Because of that, this body seems to be, I am deriving my identity from this body, which is inert. But there is something which is giving me a feeling that this body is conscious. That is because of consciousness. Yes? Body is inert like a puppet. So behind the puppet there is a conscious person who is operating them. And these fellows will do various things. Now they are doing sadhana. Who? This puppet called body-mind apparatus. But that is inert. So there is a Chaitanya Shakti because of which this is assuming to be conscious. Okay. That consciousness, is it real?
Real.
That is existing? Okay. Does it have a form?
No.
No. Does it have limit?
No.
That's all. So you recognize the consciousness, you acknowledge its existence, and then how you recognized its existence? Because it is there right now as what we really are. Right now it is there as we are. That's why we are able to, otherwise you cannot. Now you should not doubt the Guru's grace and all the sadhana of Nishkama Bhakti and Nishkama Seva you did. They are all helping us to eliminate that veil. That veil is there now. That cover. They are all helping us to eliminate that, which we have built. And then what is there? Is consciousness. That is there already. It is waiting for us to own it. So the conscious, that's why, otherwise how can you? It is always there. So now in a proper frame of mind when you approach it, it is coming to our experience. So that consciousness is existing, and it is existing eternally, nityam, as infinity, without any boundaries. It alone is there. Okay? Clear? So this is the identity which you should have. This I am. And then not like sit like a rock. If you want, you can do that. Morning, evening, or afternoon, or 3 times, or 4 times, or even 5 times. But you are that. You are doing that exercise only because the contrary things may pull you out. So you have to do this, to acknowledge this new identity, to strengthen. This is what we are. Then later, that is what you are. Not that I am trying to do a hypnosis on you and making you assume what you are not. That's why Swami Vivekananda will tell. There is a listener to his speech in the US. He will ask, because when he is saying, everybody are able to remain as that ultimate reality. So one person will ask, Swamiji, when you say we really feel that we are that, are you hypnotizing us? They will ask. And what does Swami Vivekananda say? No, my child, you are already hypnotized to be this body-mind entity. I am, at the most, if you say, I am de-hypnotizing you, he says. I don't know whether they are the right words, but de-hypnotize you. So we are already assuming ourselves to be this individuality. So in this process, we are de-hypnotizing ourselves. to be what we really are. So first a concentrated approach is needed for this dehypnotization. And then later, because of the earlier mischief we have done and strengthened that individuality, that can creep in. But then you only have to remind to know that that is not the thing. That is all foolish past. Now I have recognized my real identity. And now based on this real identity, you function. If you are able to do function in the world and come up to this level based on your false identity, then can't you live further your life with your new identity? Can't you? If with that false identity, with that jada, which you felt to be yourself, that assumed identity, which has borrowed sentiency from the reality, and if that was able to make you function so efficiently in this world, then what will happen if you shed that and own up this reality? What will happen according to Swami Vivekananda? What all will come when the soul is awakened to conscious activity? What all will come?
Power will come, glory will come, and everything that is excellent will come when this self
sleeping soul
will awaken to its self-conscious activity.
Good. So you need not doubt. Whatever excellent only will happen. That's why that is said here by Pretyasmat Lokal Amrita Bhavanti.
That excellence.
That changeless peace you will own. So don't doubt on this. You initiate inquiry and own up who you really are. So what we did now, that can be used as a manana prakriya. So that is clear now. So based on this, whenever you feel we are taken over by this false identity, you just initiate this inquiry. So this is the essence of this first chapter, what we have seen. The same thing was hinted again and again. Now we have discussed it as a process for manana to remain as reality. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya